Alright folks, this is Transformers Dark of the Moon Cyberverse Powerglide. Now he's a commander Cyberverse figure, and he is part of the second wave of Cyberverse commander figures. It says Cyberverse Collect the World. Not the most exciting packaging for some reason. The only thing going for this packaging, it's a lot easier to open it up. There's just some flaps underneath, and on the side you can fold it out, and the bubble is not glued on to the card, so that's the only thing going good for this packaging. But other than that, it's one of the most boring ones I've actually seen. So it's so unattractive for some reason. I'm not as much as the deluxes or the Voyagers. So anyway, we'll do away with that. Alright, on to the figure itself. The figure is, well, I was very excited to get this figure, but when I opened him up, a little bit of that excitement petered out. A little bit disappointed with this figure. He feels frail. He feels light. The plastic doesn't feel cheap. It's just that the red plastic doesn't feel cheap. It's the gray plastic that's making this one look cheap. And there's a lot of good things going for him, but there's also a lot of bad things going for him. We'll get to those in a little while. So if you're curious about his size, he is in between a Scout class. This is Hubcap from Hunt for the Decepticons toy line, and this is the Legends class Bumblebee. So he's sort of an in-between scale. I'm not sure if Hasbro decided to give us a big Legends figure or a small Scout class figure. I think it's more of a smaller Scout class figure because he has all the joints of a Scout class but not the size. So he's an in-between. Okay. Detail, paint-wise, fantastic paint apps. There's nothing bad I can say about it. You'll have an easy time picking out this guy from the shelf. Anyone you get on the shelf is good. Just make sure you can sift through a couple figures. Just make sure that the metallic paint is spot on. The Autobot symbol is there. But most of the paint apps, good quality control in this one, Hasbro. But I will say this: he looks great displayed in robot mode and in vehicle mode. But the whole engineering bit about him, transforming him, articulation, the whole engineering about the figure just doesn't appeal to me that much. He comes with two missile guns, which he can hold on both hands. You can also, this one is a little bit difficult because of the shape. You'll have to put the wrist inward. You can actually combine both guns to form a super duper mega super launcher, super rocket launcher like that. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Or I think he should have held it this way. My bad. Yeah, those are just two guns. So there. To prepare this one for transformation, just open it up like that. It'll become the missiles in alt mode. Articulation wise, his head can go up and down because of transformation. Hips can just move up and down, but nothing. No waist articulation or upper torso articulation. He's got a swivel shoulder with a ball joint, an extra ball joint shoulder. He's got a hinge elbow and a swivel wrist, a hinge wrist because of transformation. He's got a ball jointed hip and a ball jointed knee and some ankle articulation because of transformation. But the ankles are they sort of ratchet, so you're not going to worry about them being loose. Yeah, they sort of click into place. That's pretty cool. But the size, it's okay. It wouldn't bother me as much, except for the fact that it just feels so frail and light that you could break any part of it if you play too much with it. And also the biggest turn off for me is deluxe brawl shoulders. The shoulders do not peg on very well. Every time you try and articulate him, the arms, they just flap out. I mean, I'm sure they're going to repaint this guy and fix the shoulders, but I wish they would have fixed the shoulders early on, the first time around, because it is just annoying to articulate or to pose this guy, because the shoulders just keep popping out. And me and articulation, he's got great articulation, joints everywhere, ball joints here and there, but these things are just, yeah. And also they just he's so unstable in robot mode, and probably you can get him in some nice battle poses, but that's about it. He's a little bit of a testy figure to do some poses with, and his elbows are like skewed a little bit upward. It's not a straight arm, so yeah. But he does look like his G1 counterpart a little bit. The cockpit is here. The arms become the underneath. They form the underside of the wing, much like how he was in G1. And the scale is great. He was a mini-bot, and he'll fit right in if you have a G1 shelf, albeit he doesn't look G1. He can pass for a universe figure or a reveal the shield or a generations figure. I think he doesn't look too much of a movie figure, in my opinion. So as a display figure, he's great. Okay, now transforming him, you want to go ahead and close that. The head, move out the hip. Transformation is also a little bit testy because of because of so many joints moving here and there, that and also the whole hip transformation, the whole leg and hip transformation was a little bit confusing, just a little bit confusing. But once you get around to doing it, it'll be easy. So go ahead and detach the already detached shoulders and just join them like that. You want to go ahead and fold the fists inward, and these, excuse me, these wings are going to tab in. They're going to tab in right there. Okay, there, and then the arms, just like I said earlier, they form like in G1. His arms are really underneath his wings, so that's pretty cool. But they're just facing the opposite direction. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, and then finally the nefarious hips, which took me a while to figure. I followed the instructions, but the instructions, they had too many steps on how you should fold it. But anyway, so that's that. So there, it looks great. It looks very G1 accurate to his old G1 self. He even has landing gear, which was really a surprise for me. This is one thing going for this guy in bot mode. Molded in landing gear. I mean, just having the landing gear itself was really a surprise. But kind of looks like the Cobra Rattler, but it's not. I know he's not. He's an A10. It looks more like an A10 Warthog because the Rattler had the engines here, and yeah. But the front part looks like a Rattler, and if you attach the weapons, it'll look like the Rattler, but it's not. It's not. Don't get confused. I know a lot of you are gonna message, comment and say it's not a Rattler. So just try and tab in. The pegs peg into that hole, and there's a tab right there for the other part of the missile. Same here. Just try and peg it there, and see, even in vehicle mode, he feels frail. He tabs in well enough, but he doesn't feel as solid of an alt mode. I mean, it can pop off easily, just like that. It doesn't give you a feel of a very solid alt mode, but it's still, as a display piece, it's fantastic. So, and he doesn't even sort of, the tail is a bit too heavy. So the landing gear in front is like raised. Even if you position it in the most perpendicular angle, it still won't touch the ground. It should be like this, but okay. So, size comparison. Here is a deluxe class. This is oil pan. Deluxe class. A scout class figure. That's oil pan. And here is his G1 buddy, Hound. Although in G1, Hound was a little bit bigger because he was a mini-bot. But this is in good, well, he should be a little bit bigger. Not a perfect scale, but good enough. So there. Yeah, he's, again, in alt mode, he's in between. So there you go. It's an interesting figure. I wouldn't full-on recommend it. If you're trying to save up money for other figures, I recommend you save up. You can get this guy on clearance if you want, or just wait. You don't have to get him first right away. If you're a big Powerglide fan, you've been looking for a good scaled Powerglide, then I have to recommend this one for you. Pick it up. It's way better than that Ultra Class Powerglide in terms of scale. And, you know, it'll fit better in your shelf. But all in all, I have mixed feelings about this one, and this is just a 7 out of 10 for me. Sorry, folks. Not the best figure from the line. There you go. The Transformers Dark of the Moon Cyberverse Commander Powerglide. Thanks for watching.